Hi guys, Rachel here. So I have been meaning to do this part 3, I guess, of my picture book decks videos. I just have so much fun with these. And I was trying to gather some books tonight, and there were a few that I wanted to include, and I could not find them. We didn't get rid of them, but we've been reorganizing, and I don't know where they went, but I didn't want to wait because who knows how long it will take me to find them. And let's just go with what I gathered. I gathered a few books and a few decks, and I don't know if I'm going to show books and then decks or a mishmash. And again, I'm not going to really talk about the book synopsises or anything like that, because the original premise for my videos was just to show you the artwork in the books and how they remind me of the styles of a good many of my decks. I've really been enjoying these VRs, and there's been many different approaches to the tag, and there's no wrong way of doing it at all. I would love to show, some of my encyclopedias with photos and history books and other things that you will see. Some of the decks that I'll mention, they remind me of things like science books or history books, but for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to stick to children's books in this video. But I have loved watching the VRs that include all different genres. I've had a blast with every single one of them. So thank you to everybody who's participated, and we'll see. I might even do more of these in the future. I don't know. It's just fun for me. But where do we start? I know I mentioned in my last video I didn't like this setup because I thought that the white background didn't work. But I thought this was so cute, and I'm just going to try again. So here we go. Boo Boo. So this is like, look at this. This was a book that I read to my daughter when she was really, really little, like a baby, a toddler. I read it every day, pretty much, just like I Am a Bunny. And she loved it so much. I drew a replica of one of the drawings in this book. I don't know where it is, but it's Boo Boo. Boo Boo. She just loved it for some reason. It's so cute. I thought that I would include this. I'm really excited. I get to meet my nephew, one of my nephews, soon. They're arriving in a couple of days, if all goes according to plan. They're coming from Thailand. So, that's why I say, like, if all goes according to plan and, with flights and everything. But I haven't met my nephew before, and I've only FaceTimed with him, and oh my gosh, he's such a riot. He's going to be just so adorable. He's the cutest baby, but he's one of those babies who looks like, I don't know, in a weird way, he looks like a man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's because everybody says he looks like my father, like our father. Who art in heaven. No, I'm sorry. I'm loopy. I've been so busy because the trip was planned last minute, and so we've been trying to baby proof the house, and we've had a lot of work to do, and also school vacation week, trying to do things to get my daughter out of the house. I am like, so I'm sorry, bear with me. Mrs. Wishy Washy is another one. My daughter loved this. "Oh, lovely mud," said the cow, and she jumped in it. "Oh, lovely mud," said the pig, and he rolled in it. And that's how I read it to her too. It's like I was practically reciting this book in my sleep. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just in baby mood. All right, what else do we have? So this isn't a book that I originally included in the categories of picture books, but I'm going to show it now because why not? It's The Wind in the Willows. And I mean, this is more like an illustrated book, you know. It's more of a novel with illustrations, but how beautiful. I believe these are the original illustrations, and then maybe they were colored in later, but there are all sorts of different editions of this with different artists. It's so beautiful. That reminds me very much of sitting in the public gardens. I hope this is all showing up. I mean, who doesn't love The Wind in the Willows? Okay. Here's a fun one. Gus Was a Friendly Ghost. I really love this color scheme from a certain era that you see a lot, like this, what is this, magenta? Ah, but it's done so well. There's this vibrancy to it that I don't see a lot of anymore. Gus the Friendly Ghost. So cute, right? Look at that. Look how cute. I love the contrast of color and this, the line work. Such a cute book. Look at this. They look so cozy. Oh my gosh. What is this book? I forget. Yeah, 1961. Yeah, totally 1960s. I don't know. This era of children's picture books, really, I don't know. That's really what comes to mind for me when I think picture books. Maybe that's because it must be. Those were the books that we had in the library and the books that my mother owned. I don't know. Boris and the Monsters. Another cute one. Oh, how quaint. But yeah, I'm just going to be showing you some illustrations, some artwork, and this is just so that we can all sit back and relax. Hopefully I can relax. This video is intended for me to be able to kick back and relax. And I really wanted to do it. I have another video I filmed a couple of nights ago. I'll probably post this one first though. So yeah, why don't we just switch it up and show a couple of decks? So hopefully I didn't bring anything in here that I already showed in the last videos, but an obvious one that I mentioned I was going to include is the Playful Heart that I didn't have in my collection at the time I recorded last, but this was a gift from the lovely Honey Lou. Look at that. 3 of Swords. Now that's beautiful and that's vibrant, and that's one of the things I love about this deck is that it's very vibrant in color. I mean, there's nothing wrong with pastels in a deck or earth tones at all. But it's such a joy to see this vibrancy of color and contrast of color. Look at this. 7 of Swords. What a riot. And I mentioned too that, you know, this was a deck that I didn't want to admit that I wanted, because I really didn't think I was going to use the deck, because I don't have a lot of, I don't know, I don't have a lot of like cute storybook decks, even though I am a lover of children picture books. I was trying for quite a long time to only accumulate decks that I thought that I would really use in my practice, but I thought about this one for long enough that I decided I really wanted it, and that I was going to find a place for it. Look how, oh my God. So yeah. And I love this too, because this belonged to a friend and she used it and loved it, and it just makes it even more special. What else do I have? The Oracle of the Radiant Sun was one that I forgot to bring in for my last video. So this is one that reminds me more of the books that I guess I flipped through that belong to my mother or my grandmother's, or maybe just things that I'd pick up in the library. I believe that these images are taken from old books from the 18th century. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. So it's not surprising that this would give me these book vibes, you know. The colors are fantastic too. I mean, they're more subdued. They're not like those vibrant colors I was talking about loving, but that's totally fine for this deck. This is a wonderful oracle if you're interested in astrology. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend getting it. This was, while you can. I'm pretty sure this is still in print. It was out of print for a long time. Let's see. And I'll show one more deck, and then I'll go back to some more books. The Apparition Tarot is an obvious choice, and don't ask me why I didn't include it in my previous videos. The reason is, to be honest, the decks that really gave me picture book vibes weren't some of your more obvious choices like this. They were decks like the, you know, the OG, the Rider-Waite-Smith, you know. For some reason, that line work in that deck really make me think of the illustrations in books that I grew up with. But yeah, this is a funky deck. I haven't used this in a while. I think I mentioned before, I love all the checkers in it. But I was using this for quite a time last year. I really like it. Yeah, I really like it. Look at that. It's so cute. I like the colors in that one too. Okay, what else do we have? Okay. Saint George and the Dragon. this is just one of those beautifully illustrated picture books. So, who's the artist? Trina Shart Harmon, or Hyman, sorry, Harmon. When my daughter was really little, I don't remember how it came about, but she was obsessed with St. George and the Dragon. And whenever she would see depictions of it in the museums, which you guys know we frequent the museums. We're big museum goers. Or I am, so everybody has to tag along. Anyway, she would always, you know, get all ecstatic and have me take her picture with it. This was not a book that she had when she was younger. This is something that we picked up together recently, because why not? And look how beautiful it is. Gorgeous. Okay. Now this one I'm really excited about, okay? Old Witch and the Polka Dot Ribbon. This is one of those books that I mentioned in my previous videos that I was on the hunt for. There's a handful of books I was trying to find and I haven't been able to find because I don't remember what they're about. I just remember the way they made me feel. And I only remember the art, you know, just colors, combinations of colors with line work. Something about a river or a swamp. And yeah, I remember trees, maybe city scenes, things that if I were to see them, I would know, like, that's it. But that's all I have to go on. This is the only one that I was able to find. And it's for one specific reason. And I was able to find it. And I just cracked up laughing. I just cracked up laughing when it arrived. I got it through eBay and it just made me laugh. I mean, look at her. She's pretty silly, but I don't know. I just pictured myself as a child reading this and looking at the pictures so intently that it always stuck with me. Let's see. I'm so excited. I'm so excited I was able to find this. It's funny that this was in my mom's house because, unless it was from the library, because my mom, I mean, I hate to say it, but she did not like anything witch, you know what I mean? She's a sweet woman, but she was one of those. Okay, this is why. This coconut cake here, that's what I remember. And I think that's all that I remembered, really. I knew that there was a witch in it and there was a coconut cake. But what's so funny about this, when I saw this page, I remembered the shoes and the woman with the hat and everything. But I thought that this cake, I thought it was much bigger because I guess I was little and I saw that and I wanted it. Like, I wanted that cake so bad that to me it was like this big. So I was surprised to see it in person when the book arrived. But it's just this little thing. And she steals the cake because there's some cake making competition, I guess, and she wants to win. So she just, I don't know. But what a riot. Okay. Frog and Toad. No, wait, I did show my Frog and Toad books, didn't I? I know I did, but I don't know if I showed them in the last video, the one where I announced that it was a tag. This might have been in the first video that I made. The first video was mainly just picture books, and I showed a few decks here and there. But I have a few Frog and Toad books, and these stories are just so fantastic and so applicable and relatable. And all I can say is if you don't know Frog and Toad, please go out and get you some Frog and Toad, or go out and get yourself some Frog and Toad, I should say, because these stories will will make you laugh and warm your heart. Okay, some more decks. That's how I'm going to do it, guys. Okay. The Secret Tarot. This is an interesting deck. This is a weird deck. I like it. I haven't used it much. I was using it for a minute when I got it, like last year, the year before. The artwork here doesn't really remind me much of anything that I can say that I grew up with, but it's a deck that is definitely telling a story. And I could see it in a picture book or a comic book, maybe, you know, a graphic novel. But there's something going on, and I've tried to find more information on this deck and what's going on here, but I can't. The little white book doesn't tell you much. It's a Lo Scarabeo deck. It's so unusual. There's all sorts of different, I don't know, like there's definitely like a fantasy universe going on, but then there's also like different time periods. It's like a time traveling space deck in a way, but it has very like old world European vibes. It's really funky. Like this looks like it's like the 1930s. I don't know. Really interesting. But I don't know what's going on. And I wish I did. What else do we have? Dame Darcy is another obvious choice that for whatever reason I didn't show. And I'll just show these really quick because I know most of you are very familiar. I love the mermaid deck. Look at that death card. He's riding a seahorse. How cute is that? I also love that this has like 18th century, you know, three-cornered hat vibes going on, because I don't know. I just love that era for some reason. I don't see enough of it. And I'm a dork for a three-cornered hat. I don't know why. I don't know why exactly, but why not? And the witchy cat. This is so cute. Look at that chariot. I love that. I don't know. When I see that, I feel like I'm on that train too. It looks so cozy. That's an intense face on that Sphinx there. But yeah, I think I didn't include these originally because they didn't really make me think of books that I had growing up or books that I was reading to my daughter, you know. I should probably show her this deck. I think when it first came out, I thought it was a little mature for her. But she's a little older now. So maybe she would like it. I know she likes Dame Darcy. And then obviously there's the Alice Tarot. This is the latest edition. I have the older edition, and I decided to gift it to my daughter, even though I could very easily own both. I really love this deck, and I should use it more. It's not a deck that I really use enough. I think I mentioned this before. I was never really much of an Alice in Wonderland person. I still actually have to read the book. I mean, I don't know why I haven't. I think it's because I'm a jerk, and whenever something is really popular, it makes me, it's not that I won't read it. I just don't feel an urgency. But, no, I'm totally don't listen to anything that I just said. Like, I know that a lot of people, really love this whole universe for a reason. But, I haven't read it. And I had a bunch of friends that were all, like, super into Alice. Like, you know how, like, people, like, cosplay and stuff. I don't know. But that's a great deck. Let's see. Right, the Tantric Tarot was one that I wanted to include, and I didn't include in the last video because I don't know, I ran out of time. But this is one of those decks that really makes me feel love. Yeah, feel like being... It makes me feel like... Sorry, guys. Trying to relax. Feel like I'm in school flipping through a science book or watching programs on PBS with my family, like Nova and stuff like that. This is a 70s deck, and that's probably why I love the graininess of this collage deck. It's very cozy to me. I might have included this in my cozy decks video. I'm not sure. I think maybe one or two of you showed this deck actually in this tag. I'm not sure. I really love this card. Really love it. It makes me feel like I'm in the planetarium or something. I don't know. Let's see. The Tarot of the Holy Light. Did I show this one? I don't know if I showed this one or not. Well, I mean, it's not surprising, right? Because it's very reminiscent of the Oracle of the Radiant Sun that I showed you. This also uses images from old books. You know, old esoteric books. And the colors, it's the colors too, man. I mean, look at these colors. If you like colors, this is one of the decks. I hope the lighting is okay in here. Now that I'm looking at the screen, like, I don't know, it looks kind of dark. Okay, I'm going to try to go a little bit more quickly. I also don't want to edit this. I'm tired of editing. I had to edit the last video that I made, and like, no, I don't like it. Let's see. I'm going to show a couple more books. The Arrow Book of Poetry. Look at this. Isn't this a darling cover? I love this. To me, this encapsulates everything that I think about being in grade school, coming out of the library on a rainy day, and mom made something good for dinner. And I don't know, I grew up in the country, and there were a lot of fields and sky and beautiful oak trees. And the sky often, there were always clouds. And I loved the clouds. And I used to imagine that I was in England or something. We had a lot of birch trees, and I don't know. I just look at that. But anyway, this is a really nice book of poetry for young people. So this isn't necessarily like a picture book, but I had to show it because it's so beautiful. This copy is from the 60s, and I loved it so much. I got another copy from the 80s, but it has the same artwork in it. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. There's all E.E. Cummings. There's all different poets in here. From all different generations and backgrounds. Creatures large, like it's about, you know, animals. And it's beautiful. My daughter was reading some of these poems to our cat recently. We love sometimes sitting on the bed with the cat and we like to read to him. Not always children's books, but sometimes like he likes Shakespeare and he likes Dylan Thomas too. But he loves being read to. I think he just, I don't know, he likes the flow. He likes listening to our voices. He loves being talked to. He's the sweetest cat. All right, the Shakespeare deck, I don't remember who did this one because I didn't bring the box in here. I have three different Shakespeare decks, and this is the one that I chose because this one really gives me picture book, storybook vibes. It's so cozy and warm, even though some of these stories are not cozy and warm. But it really is like, yeah, I really feel like I'm reading through a book of Shakespeare for young people, an illustrated edition, right? I like that there's little quotes on here too. I think it's a trend with Shakespeare decks to have quotes on them anyway. Oh, such a cute deck. The Grandatea, for some reason, gives me the picture book vibes too. Probably like, I mean, it's sort of like in the style of the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, or what's the one I just showed you? Holy Light, Tarot of the Holy Light. I really love these cards with these landscapes. It's really good for readings because it's pippish, but you have, I don't know, you have like a landscape to work on. You can picture yourself in the landscape, but without any people, that you can kind of develop the scenario or whatever yourself, or really get to the bottom of what's going on with me. I mean, that's how I use this because I read for myself. I don't know if I'm really making sense. That's pretty wild. These creatures look sort of prehistoric. Okay, trying to go quickly, guys. Sorry if I'm flipping through these decks too quickly. But I actually brought more in here than I thought. At first I thought it was going to be a lame video because I didn't have much, but I brought in more than I realized. Let's see. The Horror Tarot. But yeah, I mean, when I show you, you'll know what I'm saying. I mean, like, come on. Like, these are, I think these are supposed to be like comic book covers. And these are novels. So that's not like a picture book, but it does make me think of just looking at the art from picture books in general. Maybe, you know, books for older kids, but, you know, there can be spooky stories for younger kids too. I don't know. But I think it's so much fun. I mean, campy is fun, right? Campy is fun. So I don't know where I'm going with that. But campy is fun, guys. And to me, it's cozy. And this is not meant to be a video about cozy decks. It's picture book decks, but we're going to go with it. Okay. The Egyptian Tarot. I don't think I showed this. I think I talked about it. I believe in my last video, I mentioned the Etruscan. And I talked about how I loved the Egyptian one too. But yeah, this really, really makes me think of, yeah, books about mythology for kids, or history books for children who are maybe a little bit older. And also because as a child, I was just mesmerized by all of this. You know, a lot of us were. But yeah, my daughter has some books on ancient Egypt, and yeah, I think it just really makes me think of that, of her reading to me, like the things that she learned, or me reading the books to her. What's so sweet, and I think I've told you this before, she's 13 now, but she still loves to be read to, and it's not something that we do like every night. I wouldn't be able to do it myself every night. I have things to do, but I just love that. Okay, this book is so cool, guys. One Wide River to Cross. So I learned that this author and illustrator are a husband and wife that lived in a house in Ipswich, which isn't far from here. Ipswich is one of those New England towns. Oh, look at this. That boasts having, like, I don't know, like the highest density of first century homes. Is that what they call them? First century homes? I don't remember. What that denotes is a house that has stood since the 1600s. Okay. And anyway, they lived in this beautiful house. I've seen pictures of it. I've probably seen the house in person. But I didn't know anything about them until I grabbed this book. And, but they recently sold it, and moved to Newburyport. Probably something that's just, because they're older now. Like, this book is from 1966. This is some of my favorite, this is like one of my favorite, I don't know, styles, aesthetics. Like, I love this from the 60s. To me, this is totally 1960s. These black silhouettes on top of a color. I love it so much. I think there were a number of books that I looked through as a kid that were like, look at this. This is gorgeous. Okay, so you probably can guess where I'm going. There's a couple of decks that this makes me think of. And that's probably why I love the deck so much. The Ninth Dimension Tarot that I oogled over so much in one of my last wrap-up videos. How honest to God, I don't think I've ever seen better colors in a deck. Like, for a vibrant deck, how did they get these colors? I don't know if they show up as well on the, on the camera, but they're killer. And again, we have, like, I don't know if these aren't necessarily silhouettes here, but you know what I mean? Like, this stark black line work over these colors. Oh, I love it. And of course, the artwork reminds me of, yeah, totally from that time. It's totally from the 60s. I mean, that deck might be from the 70s, but, and then the Oracle of Black Enchantment by Patrick Valenza. It's funny, more of his decks didn't end up in these videos. This is a really dark deck, but it's, but again, it's like, that style. But this is like woodblock. Like, it's inspired by woodblock prints. But even though I like this blue, it is not the blues that I just showed you, is it? I could go for this being a brighter blue, because I love this. I do love it, but honestly, it's a little bit dark and hard to see. But I also have this orange one. I haven't used this deck in a while. It's fun. But yeah, again, it's dark, but it's got the right amount of camp for me. To tell the truth, but like, you know, have fun with it. Let's see. This is such a mess in here, guys. Let's just go on with decks. The Dinosaur Mars. Obviously. This is so cute. Did I show my dinosaur book in the last video? I think I did. So this is a Marseille, and it also has these adorable cards that are like elementals and things. So it's like a Minchiati deck. I think this is out of print now. I think I got the last copy, which is funny because I hemmed and hawed about this for a while. I was like, I want to get it, but I'm not going to get it. I want to get it, but I'm going to wait. And then something told me, don't wait anymore. And I went with my gut. And the seller told me, congratulations, you got the last copy. But she did say you got the last copy of the first edition. So I'm hoping that denotes that there will be a second edition. If you love dinosaurs, what more can I say? Darling. This one really just makes me feel like I'm in elementary school, like in kindergarten, actually. Kindergarten. Dinosaurs are always kindergarten to me, memory-wise. Strega Nonna. So I love Tommy DeViola. And I need more, actually. I remember so many of these books growing up, but I don't really own many. I have The Knight and the Dragon, which I think I showed in my last video. But I think that's the only other one I have. I might be wrong. And it's a cute story, too. So this one makes me think of... Well, this deck makes me think of that book, actually, I should say. This is the Tarot Indino. I don't know, just a little bit. You know what I mean? Like with the colors. Something about the line work just gives me those vibes. Even though this isn't as soft. It's not as soft. The faces aren't as soft. They're not, but it just does. It just makes me think of it. This deck is so funky. This video is so long. Oh my God. Now, the Lord of the Rings. This deck, I'll just show very quickly because I don't know if it's going to show up very well on camera. I love this deck. This is the same artist who did is it called just the Dragon Tarot? I've shown it before. I think I showed it in my last picture book deck video. I might have, maybe I didn't, but I meant to. So I know that they're really small because they have this strange border, but it's also kind of cool because for those of you who like video games and grew up with them, it gives you video game vibes, doesn't it? This boasts being a tarot deck, but also a game. So that's another reason why you have this. But the, I kind of dig it. I kind of dig the weirdness of it. And it's cozy to me. But I will admit that the artwork itself is very beautiful. And it would be nice to have another version of this deck. I think this artist also did, it's called The Hobbit. And you'll recognize his art style immediately. That one doesn't have these odd borders. I don't have the deck. I've been tempted to get it, but I recently got this for my sister because she was looking for a good guidebook for tarot, and I had a feeling about this. I haven't read this book, but I had a feeling about it. And I felt like it might speak to her because she knows the story so well. She knows Tolkien's world so well that it might resonate with her learning about the cards. And I had a feeling that maybe it was well written. And she said that it was exactly what she was looking for, and she absolutely loves the book. So I just thought I would throw that out there. But I do know that the deck is out of print, but right now it's not too expensive. So if you're interested. What else do I have? So, okay. I wanted to show a doll because did I show one in my previous videos? A lot of Marseille gives me picture book vibes, but I think especially the doll with the funky faces. They're just so expressive to me in a grouchy way. I think, you know, I don't think I'm the first person to have said that the people are grouchy. I love the doll. Okay. That might be it for decks. Okay. 2 more books. Attic of the Wind. Oh my gosh. This makes my heart sing. This is just beautiful. Everything about this, the colors, the style of it, the spirit of it, the idea behind it. Like, what happens to things that blow away? Like the bubbles you blew one sunny day. Where did they all go anyway? To the Attic of the Wind. I read that horribly, but you get the idea. The Attic of the Wind. Like, what a cool title. Isn't this beautiful? These colors. Okay. Gorgeous. And I think I brought just one more book in here. Ancient Ones, The World of the Old Growth Douglas Fir. This is a great book. I love it. I recently read this out loud to my daughter and my cat. And my cat was really enjoying the pictures. There was a page with an owl, and he adored it. I love this because they were talking about how some of these little critters live their whole life up in the tree, in the Douglas fir, and they might not even touch the forest floor. It's so cool and so wild, and I would love to live there. Yeah, my cat really liked this page. The owl and the flying squirrel. I hope you can see it. Beautiful. But yeah, that's it. And I know that this was a little bit on the long side, but I hope that it's just meant to be enjoyed. So, all right. Well, I think that'll about do it. And yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks for visiting. Bye.